thought it was just a room, a quiet spot to crash while I sorted myself out. No strings, no expectations, just a favor from a guy I used to know, Frank Wheeler. But then I heard voices. More than one, low and easy, like they'd been at it for hours. Laughter spilled from the kitchen, sharp and warm, cutting through the stillness. When I stepped out to see what was happening, my pulse quickened, like I was walking into a trap I didn't yet understand. I wasn't the only one there. And the way they greeted me, with knowing smiles and eyes that lingered too long, it was clear this was no accident. They'd planned it. I heard the voices before I reached the kitchen, low and smooth, like a deal being cut in the dark. Frank had called it a quiet place to stay when I showed up in Reno, Nevada, beat from the road and needing a hideout. "Your room's yours as long as you need it," he'd said. His voice calm, almost too kind, like he was setting a baited hook. It felt like a gesture, nothing more. But now, the air was thick with something else, the scent of fresh baked bread, warm and heavy, mingling with the faint tang of whiskey. A song played from a speaker on the counter, soft, pulsing, like a heartbeat under the floorboards. I walked in, sleeves rolled up, still shaky from the night before. 3 people stood around the kitchen island, Frank and 2 others I didn't know. One, a guy named Eddie, looked vaguely familiar, his sharp jaw and sly grin tugging at some memory I couldn't place. The other, Clara, was a stranger, her dark eyes slicing through me like she already knew my secrets. They were laughing when my footsteps hit the tile, and they turned, not startled, just curious. Frank glanced at me first, gave a small nod, his eyes catching the light like a predator's. No surprise, no explanation, just a slow, easy smile. "Hey," he said, "you're up?" I nodded back, still trying to get my bearings, my heart thudding like a warning I couldn't read. My eyes flicked to the others. They exchanged a glance, friendly but too familiar, like we'd met before, though I'd swear we hadn't. Frank stepped forward, handed me a mug. "Made extra," he said. "Coffee still hot." I took it. Grateful but uneasy, the warmth of the mug doing nothing to settle the chill crawling up my spine. Something about the room felt lived in, different from the night before. Chairs were pulled out from the table, just slightly, like they'd been used and left. The way they stood, no rush, no posing, just there made the air feel heavy. The front door was cracked open, letting in morning light and a breeze that carried the faint scent of desert dust. I didn't ask who they were or how long they'd stay. Nobody offered answers. And that silence, it wasn't empty. It was loaded, like a gun waiting to go off. The house went quiet again later. Dishes from dinner were washed, left to dry on the rack. A single lamp glowed in the living room, casting soft gold across the walls, like a warning not to let the dark take over completely. Frank offered to rearrange the furniture, make it cozier. But I shook my head before I could think. "I'll stay out here," I said. He raised an eyebrow. "You sure?" I nodded. "Feels more real?" He didn't push, just spread a blanket over the couch and disappeared down the hall, his shadow lingering like a ghost I couldn't shake. I tried to settle. I really did. But the silence was thick, familiar in the way silence gets when it's been there too long. Not uncomfortable, just too complete. Like the quiet before a storm breaks. I got up, moved to the back of the house. Frank's bedroom door was ajar. I tapped lightly as I stepped closer. He was sitting on the edge of the bed, half-dressed, flipping through a book that looked like it'd been abandoned mid-sentence. Its pages yellowed like old secrets. "You okay?" he asked. Not startled, his voice low, like he'd been expecting me. "Just checking," I said. "Couldn't sleep." I admitted. He didn't move, just set the book aside, listening. The pause between us wasn't cold, just unspoken, heavy with things we both knew but wouldn't name. I didn't mean to interrupt. I added, "Just didn't want to be alone with my thoughts." He nodded, offered me a spot. I stepped in, sat near the foot of the bed, leaning forward, hands clasped on my knees. The room was quiet, lit only by a small lamp beside him, its light pooling like a confession. We didn't talk for a while. No need to fill the moment. It was like we were both waiting for something to break, something to give. I lay back on the quilt, staring at the ceiling, the weight of the night pressing down like a lover's touch I couldn't refuse. The air wasn't heavy, just still. Somewhere in the pause between words, something settled. I didn't know what had changed. Maybe nothing. Maybe just the way time slows when nobody asks for anything. Didn't expect to feel this calm. I said. He nodded. Barely, his eyes holding mine like he saw right through me. "A long week." He said. That was all. We didn't move. We didn't explain. And for the first time in a while, it didn't feel like something was waiting to happen. It felt like the night was enough to hold us, teetering on the edge of something dangerous. Morning came quieter than the night before, not empty, just settled, like the house had taken a deep breath and let it out slow. Frank was on the back porch, mug in hand, the desert stretching out behind him like a promise of trouble. The sky was still gray, early, the light filtering through the pines soft enough to make everything feel distant. He didn't say anything when I joined him, just shifted to make room. I sat down. We didn't look at each other, just stared out at the yard stretching into the haze. "You seemed settled last night," he said finally, his voice easy, but with an edge that made my skin prickle. I nodded. It was quiet. I needed that. He looked at his mug, turned it once in his hands before speaking. "Some friends are coming by tonight," he said. "Won't be loud. Just a few folks catching up." I turned to him slightly. He was hosting like a pit stop for them. He said, "Happens sometimes. No big deal." I hesitated. Should I make myself scarce? He shook his head. "No, you're allowed to stay. This is your space too." I didn't answer right away. I wasn't sure how I felt. The thought of new voices in the house stirred something, not fear, just uncertainty, like the first spark of a fire you can't control. "They know someone's here?" I asked. He nodded. "Not specifics. Just that the place isn't empty." I sipped my coffee. Cold now, but I held the mug anyway. "No pressure," he added. "Say hi if you want. If not, nobody'll take it personally." I glanced at him. "What kind of gathering is this?" He shrugged, but his eyes flickered with something I couldn't read. "Just some folks reconnecting. Sometimes we share stories. Sometimes we just sit." I let his words settle. "I'll think about it," I said. He stood, stretched slightly, nodded. "Whatever you choose is fine. Just letting you know." I stayed on the porch after he left, the weight of his words lingering like a temptation I wasn't ready to face. That night, I took my time getting ready, not for any reason I could name, just to feel like myself again. Or maybe to armor up for what was coming. I slipped into a navy dress, simple but fitted, its fabric clinging like a secret I wasn't ready to tell. It wasn't flashy, just deliberate, like I'd made a quiet choice. I brushed out my damp hair, swiped on mascara and lip balm, just enough to feel like I was stepping into a role I hadn't rehearsed. My reflection stared back, not wrong, just off, like I was closer to something I couldn't name. From the hall, Frank's voice came soft. "They're on their way." I nodded at the mirror, adjusted my sleeve. "Friends?" I asked, still facing forward. He leaned against the doorway, casual but watchful, like a man who knew how to play his cards close. "Yeah, old ones. Nothing formal. Just a visit." I turned slightly. "They know I'm here. They know someone's staying," he said. His voice steady. No weight, but it landed like a stone in still water. I wasn't sure what I expected. I said. He nodded, his gaze holding mine like a challenge. "You don't have to decide anything now. Just meet 'em." A knock came, 3 soft raps at the front door. He glanced toward the hall, then back at me. "Whenever you're ready," he said. I stood there, steadying my breath. Not nervous, but aware, like I was about to step into a game I didn't know the rules to. I walked to the entry, straightened my shoulders, and opened the door. 2 men stood there. One tall, in a wool coat Ray, his presence heavy like he carried secrets in his pockets. The other, younger, softer eyes, easy stance Jimmy, but something in his smile said he wasn't as innocent as he looked. They nodded, greeted me quietly, polite, no rush. "Evening," Ray said, his smile small, like he was sizing me up without moving a muscle. No fanfare, no surprise, just a simple start. They stepped inside, calm, like they belonged, their footsteps echoing like the first notes of a song I didn't want to hear. Ray draped his coat over a chair, brushed lint from his sleeve. Jimmy glanced at the bookshelf, scanning titles like he had all the time in the world. But I caught the way his eyes flicked toward me, quick, like a thief checking for witnesses. Nobody stared, not avoiding me, just giving space. When they finally turned, I was still in the hall, mug in hand, its weight the only thing keeping me grounded. The air felt still, not heavy, not tense, just unspoken, like we were all waiting for someone to make the first move. "I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do," I said. Ray met my eyes. "You don't have to do anything," he said, calm, certain, his voice cutting through the haze like a blade. It wasn't what I expected, not permission, not dismissal, just clarity. And it hit me like a shot of whiskey, sharp and warm. I nodded once, to myself more than them. I stepped closer, not for any reason, just to be part of the moment. The distance between us closed naturally, like the room itself was pulling us toward something inevitable. Ray gestured to the sofa. "Sit if you want." I sat, the cushions warm from the fire, like they'd been waiting for me. The stillness held. Jimmy pulled a chair close but didn't sit, standing at the edge of the light, watching, not judging, just present, like he knew something I didn't. Nobody tried to steer the talk. There was none. It was like we were all holding our breath, waiting for the spark to catch. Something started, not began, like stepping into a room and realizing it's been waiting for you to notice. Someone said something simple, I don't even recall what. but it was enough to shift the silence from still to shared. I leaned back, let myself breathe deeper. No expectations, no roles, no pressure to define what this was. Just the dangerous comfort of a space where nobody needed me to explain myself. It was enough. Not because it changed anything, but because it didn't ask me to. I didn't plan this. I didn't expect it. And maybe that's what made it matter. So let me ask you, be honest. If you were in that room, would you stay? And if you did, what would it feel like? Tell me in the comments. I always read, if these quiet, tangled stories pull at you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. More's coming. Thanks for being here.